You guys get situated, get comfortable, get ready. But right now, let's do then welcome this funny comic named...
Shall we bring up Jay Bernard?
Jay Bernard!
Jay Bernard!
Usually I have trouble getting it up. They told me to do 5 minutes. There's only one thing I can do in 5 minutes, and that's why my wife left me. As I came in tonight, front door, some guy tried to sell me cocaine. I said, no, mister, I don't want cocaine. Furthermore, I want your badge number. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and a special good evening to all of my fellow Italians. As I left the house, my daughter, 7 years old, said, Daddy, Daddy, tell me what's a lesbian? I said, don't ask me, ask your mother, he knows. There's my car, Phil. This is a nice crowd. Last night they did a show in a place. The comic in front of me was so bad they booed him off stage. Then I came out and did my act. Do you know in the middle of my act they started booing him again? And I love this place for sentimental reasons, my friend. It seemed like only yesterday I worked here as a busboy. In fact, it was yesterday I worked here as a busboy. And they fired me on my first day here because I got my finger caught in the dishwasher. Now, why didn't they fire her too? Oh, by the way, the best things in life are free. But boy, are they ugly. You know, you remind me of my first wife. Anyway, my name is Jay Bernard. You might have seen me in the movies. I always sit in the front row. I got a part in the movie, another part of the movie. It's the X-rated movie, and I go down every morning at 7 o'clock and work until noon, warming the girls up for the star. $700 a week. The producer wanted $900, but $700 is all I had. So the name is Jay Bernard. The J stands for James. The name I got because my mother had 12 children, named each one of us after they discipled the New Testament. I don't mind James. I think it's a fine name. I do feel sorry for my sisters, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and give me one more name, Phil. Judith. Very well. I love this club. 5 years ago, you would come here, have one drink, meet somebody. 1 hour later, be in a hotel having sex. You say, is that true? Of course it's true. I know it's true. It happened to my wife 3 times. By the way, I have a new girlfriend. Her measurements are 44, 22, 38. And the other thigh is... The other night, she invited me to her apartment for some scotch and sofa. So I said, how about a drink? She said, order. I said, how about a whiskey? She said, no, whiskey means frisky. I said, how about a rye? She said, no, rye may be high. I said, how about gin? She said, no, gin means sin. So I got a bottle of cold duck. So there we were in her apartment enjoying some horizontal refreshments. When I heard a key in the door, I said, "Darling, who is that?" She said, "That's my husband." I said, "Where's the back door?" She said, "I don't have one." I said, "Where do you want one?" By the way, I got no sleep last night all night long. Some gal kept knocking on my door, said, "Unlock this door, unlock this door." I got mad, got up, unlocked the door, said, "What do you want?" She said, "I want to go home." She said, "I want to go home." She walked out of there with a sack still over her head. Then I came downstairs to get the newspaper, opened the door, and the doorknob broke off my hand. Went to get a glass of water, the water faucet broke off my hand. Went to get my briefcase, the handle broke off my hand. I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. I want to apologize for this bad cold I have. Last night I slept next to an open crack. By the way, I went to the golf course this morning. Went to the golf course, and on the first hole I hit two of my best balls. I stepped on a rake. And then I hit a ball 500 yards, and some guy came running and said, "Hey man, you almost hit my wife." I said, "Don't get excited, mister. Here my club, here my ball, there's my wife, take a shot." You know, look in the clubhouse, here's a nun crying. "Sister, why are you crying?" She said, "I got stung by a bee." I said, "Where did the bee sting you?" She said, "Between the first and second hole." I said, "You were standing wrong." What's that flash for? Time? Hi there. Ladies, I'm on your side. I'm sick and tired of these men who judge women by the size of their breasts. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous, ungentlemanly. For myself, I don't care what size a woman's breasts are as long as they're huge. And women's lib. The next woman I see with no bra on, I'm going to take off my shorts. I'll show her an inch or two. By the way, you notice one thing, I have no race material in my act. I have no race material in my act. And I think it's about time for all of us here in America, the Negroes, Irish, Puerto Rican, Jews, once for all, let's get together and go fight the Germans. And I'm sick of these comics who get on stage and talk about this race and that race. Let me sit here on the stage. Any comic who gets on stage and talks about anybody else is lower than a Pollock. And all this talk about interracial marriage don't work, that's a dirty lie. Interracial marriage do work. I know an interracial couple been married for 15 years, and you can go all over the world and you won't find a happy couple anywhere in the world than these two guys. We need more love, more love. The lady in my building hates the Chinese, and yet she uses Chinese laundry. And last week she put a laundry out with a note that said, "Dear Chinese, put more soap on panties, signed Fanny." And the laundry came back with a note, "Dear Fanny, put more soap on hiney, signed Chinese." I love every race, especially all my mother-in-law. I love her. She's half Italian and half Navajo Indian. We call her Wapaho. And I love her. I know exactly when I stopped hating her. It was 5 minutes after her funeral. Would you believe there are people in this country who don't like the Puerto Ricans? No. Yes. I live in New York. I know the Puerto Ricans well. I'll tell you one thing. There's not a Puerto Rican in New York who's worth hating. Need more love. Would you believe that people in this country who don't like the Italians? Yes. Some of America's greatest singers have been Italians. Harry Belafonte, Della Reese. And I was talking about the mafia. What's wrong with the mafia? You show me one man alive today who can say he was killed by the mafia. Anyway, we need the mafia. They're good mechanics. They can fix anything, a football game, baseball game, horse race. Now, some of you won't go to Watts. You say, oh, I'm not going to Watts because I look alike in Watts. That's a dirty lie. I live in Watts, and I'll tell you that they don't all look alike in Watts. I'll tell you on my block there's not one kid who looks like his father. In fact, on my block, not one kid knows who his father is. Now, did I miss insulting any member of the human race? Irish. I said the human race, sir. Folks, I'm just making jokes. I don't mean that. I have no bias. I have no bias. I love all races, all creeds. It's my family. And more of you are doing the same thing. And I say to you, the spirit is growing. And by the year 2000, I think we'd have the kind of a wonderful country we want here in America if we can find some way to get rid of those Mexicans. I read something to live by. There's a good book says, if thy neighbor needs food, give thy neighbor food. If thy neighbor needs water, give thy neighbor water. If thy neighbor needs money, give thy neighbor water. Think the words of Abraham Lincoln when he got drunk, went home and fell into bed, woke up and said these words, I freed the what? Finally, let me say I'm married. My wife is not what I call pretty. She's not what I call ugly. I call her pretty ugly. And yet I love the very ground she crawled out of. And I was so proud of her. Last week she came in third in a beauty contest. The winner was Whoopi Goldberg. She said to me, darling, will you love me when I'm old and ugly? I said, I do. Then we decided to get married. And I told her father I wanted a quiet wedding. So he went downtown and bought a silencer. And then, as soon as the wedding is over, she ran to the bathroom and started crying. And I said, darling, this is our wedding night. Please come here and do the best you can. Please come out and do the best you can. And she came out and did the best she could. Then I went to the bathroom and cried. Anyway, folks, my wife left me. Went to the hospital sick. Took a turn for the worse. But of course, she's always sick even before I bought the poison. And the preacher came in and said, your wife has gone to join the angels. And I was sick, so sick. Why would she go to the angels? She's the first baseman. The angel needs pitchers. Anyway, the J. Bernard, if you want to see me on Johnny Carson Show, please write Johnny Carson. Thank you and good night.
Jay Bernard, a big hand. And Jay, don't go away because we're going to have you. Jay's gone. That's it. Jay Bernard, funny man, huh? You're all like, music, music, rock music. Yeah. Music is great, isn't it? So, what other bands are you into? Besides, of course, Mere Mortals being the best. Who else likes some other type of music? Mere Mortals, and that's it. Mere Mortals does greatest hits throughout worldkind. No, y'all like Zeppelin? Any Led Zeppelin fans? Yeah, a couple. Yeah, great band. Jimmy Page cranking out. Robert Plant, the only man who could make one word last for like 48 minutes in a song. It's like never, 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 ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, never. Ken, are you here? No, I like that, Ken. So Mere Mortals, I've never heard them play. What's their music bring to you? Tell me. What does it rouse in your spirit? Consciousness, dude. Smoking a doobie. Incredible. Consciousness, dude. Yeah, does it make you want to rock and roll? You're like, maybe. What are we on, Quaaludes tonight? Yeah, well, we're going to have him out here for you real soon. Give him a big hand for Man Come of Statements, Johnny Roberts, your host tonight.
All right, thank you very much,
Give him a hand, Johnny Roberts. Got to give the host a hand.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's kind of you. Let's bring up Jay Bernard here for a few minutes just to talk to him for a moment or so, and we'll be going into the band shortly, you folks. You can go ahead and get comfortable because it's necessary to be comfortable to really enjoy yourself. So where's Jay? Bring Jay up. Come on, Jay, come on up. Bring up Jay Bernard.
Jay Bernard.
Sit down, Todd, and we'll get Jay up here in just a second. Please be seated, Jay. Here's a microphone for you. Doggone it, you did a really fine set over here. So, Jay, tell me.
I thought you were going to tell me
well, I wanted to ask
what
you.
to do with this microphone. I tell you, it won't fit, but go ahead.
Well, we do need an improvement on the microphone situation. But this Jay Bernard was a heck of a good showcase here tonight. But tell me, Jay, some of the things that comics talk about, we discussed a bit earlier, are controversial and they're timely often enough, political, social type topics that you address. But often enough, the topics that comics address or bring up as far as talking about are kind of personal and touchy and intimate and sometimes sacred. There are things that people would rather not you bring to their attention, such as about race, creed, color, or any political beliefs. Now, where do you get your courage to talk about certain topics that are really rather touchy with people? I mean, where did you get, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
Bring up his mic a
I
little.
wasn't being touchy because, believe me, as I say, I have no bias. Some of my best friends are low-class minority people.
But isn't that really a cop-out? Isn't that just a license, to go ahead and nullify anything that was proclaimed earlier? Often I'll say, well, all faggots are ugly. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. Isn't that the same thing here? Isn't it really a subconscious cop-out to say, well, look, if you're this or that, or if you stand for this or that, that's the way it is. That you really express yourself initially, and then you back up and cover your tracks. Do you think that that's true, or do you really, you say what you feel and you believe, but what's the real truth in this matter? I mean, what is comedy? Are we laughing at people because they are funny, or how do you define what I'm trying to say? Because you're dealing with touchy subjects.
The audience tell me, if the audience laugh and don't throw me off stage, I'll use it. That's the important thing. What does the audience like?
Wait a minute, I didn't hear what he said. Did you guys hear that? If you always laugh and what?
And they don't throw me off stage, that's why I'll keep using it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So often enough, it's always been said that good relationships are based on communication and respect. So perhaps a good comic is able to communicate and deal with issues that often we're afraid to bring up. And consequently, he's listened to and accepted. And perhaps these comedians are those people that help us progress in a way. Now, do you look at as a comedian as a politician? Or do you feel as just a guy with a sense of humor, as a slapstick personality? How do you feel you would define comedy?
All the comics I know on welfare have.
Welfare.
Comedians I know all the time had that big pie in the sky. Somebody that had a big Rolls Royce and live on Beverly Hills. That's our goal. And of course have that white Rolls Royce, big white house, and a big 6'2" blonde.
That's it.
Well,
I have that already. But.
Todd will go along with that.
Yeah, I just do this for spiritual fulfillment.
Well, now tell me, do you have any engagements that are upcoming here this month here in Los Angeles?
No, not Nelly. I can say that every Thursday I'm up at Gallagher's at the MC in
where? Every Thursday where?
Gallagher's Irish Bar in Chatsworth. I'm the MC there.
Oh, really? In Chatsworth?
Yeah.
My God.
I've bombed there before. It's incredible.
Oh, you've been there before?
No, I've bombed there before.
No.
You bonged there or bombed?
Bombed, like.
Oh, I see. I thought he said gonged bonged, because this guy here is pro marijuana. They've got a marijuana initiative going around.
Out of any inanimate object you have, it's incredible.
But this guy, I think he might get high. I think he gets high.
Have you been to New Gallagher's yet? Oh, the old Gallagher's.
I've been to the old.
Well, come to the new Gallows in the Ramada Hotel. It's much better, nicer crowd.
All
Okay,
right,
you sold me.
now, Jay, you got a bottom voice there. I don't know if those people understood you. Did you hear what he just said?
And I said we have a new place, new Gallagher's in the Ramada Inn on Devonshire, and I think you'll find a nice audience. And he didn't bomb. He'll do much better this time.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great place to come.
He didn't bomb. Is there a cover charge or
No cover, no minimum. No cover, no minimum.
Okay, and you are the guest host there, huh?
No, I'm the MC every Thursday.
Oh, every Thursday. I didn't know that.
Next Thursday, by the way, Jeff Wayne.
Jeff Wayne, that maniac, Jeff Wayne,
will be there next
Jeffrey.
Thursday.
That's who booked me when I
boy.
bombed.
Well, Jeffrey Wayne, I've known for many years. Now,
Okay.
truly, there's no maniac that's further along than this guy. This guy is truly nuts, and he'll agree with that when you tell him that I said so. Would you
Okay.
please tell him hello for me,
Okay.
and the fact that he is more nuts than ever.
Good man.
So look for a full house that night because he's wild and he's just back from a tour. So he's got a lot of new nasty bars for everybody. You either love him or hate him.
Well, I was going to tell you that you got a real gentlemanly way about yourself. Are you married? Do you have any children?
I've married and 2 daughters grown, and the woman I married had 2 daughters, so we now have 4 grown daughters between us.
Wow.
And I just left the house tonight. As I was coming here, one daughter came by to get my credit cards.
Well, let me ask you a question now. Do you feel as a man, and I know you've had girlfriends and wives, do you feel jealous, possessive, and kind of guilty of those traits? As a human being, do you feel as a husband or a lover or a man towards your mate, do you feel any pangs of jealousy? I mean, are you a possessive type of personality?
No,
Do you see any humor in your woman flirting with anybody
No one would dare flirt with this old bag I'm married to. No
that you're
one-
married to? So you even say that flirtation.
Nobody wants that but me, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Jay
so-
Bernard seems like a Type Z personality, as
Type
far
C person.
removed as you can from me.
But there's a lot of pretty women out here tonight. It looks
Yes.
good. We're almost stimulated to go on intellectually here, but we're going to have to cut it short. We're going to have to ask Jay Bernard back another time. And
And the crowd
come
goes
back.
crazy.
who's on our agenda? Okay.
Let's say goodnight to Jay Bernard.
Mr.
Big
Jay
hand for Jay
Bernard.
Bernard. Jay, thank you very much.
Will you come back, Jay, another time? Jay will be back. Be sure to see him at his, I guess, Valley location. What's the name of that place?
Gallagher's.
Gallagher's
in
every
Chatsworth.
Tuesday, huh? Every Thursday night, you'll see Jay Bernard. But you'll see him back here at the Fudge here on a weekend night.